Did Dracula have a castle in Budapest? Where can you get the best view in Budapest? How old do you think this building is? Who is this underneath that hooded cloak? What is that moon doing hanging there? And what was the messiest thing I have ever eaten? Hint, I got it in Budapest. Stick around if you're ready to learn more about Budapest. Welcome to Urban Goodness, and today we're going to cover the 7 things you need to see when visiting Budapest, Hungary. Now here's a few fun facts to get you started. Did you know that Budapest got its name from when Buda and Pest formed to become one city? And that Budapest is actually pronounced Budapest. Stick around for some more fun facts as we learn the 7 things you need to do on your visit to Budapest. If this is the sort of thing that interests you, please click like and subscribe. Let's get to it. First off, let's get a lay of the land. Budapest has a long history, but only became Budapest in 1873 with the unification of the cities of Buda and Pest. Oh yeah, and Óbuda. But when they named the combined city, I guess they left out Óbuda because it would sound better. And that's how we got Pest Buda. No, really. It was called Pest Buda for a while because Pest was the larger of the combined cities. But eventually, folks realized that Budapest was easier to say, and the city name was switched to that and has been called that ever since. People still refer to Buda and Pest as 2 separate areas in the city. The Danube River runs through the heart of Budapest. Buda is on the west side of the Danube and features the Castle Hill area, as well as other quieter residential neighborhoods. Pest is the busier, more commercial side of Budapest on the east side of the Danube. But whatever happened to Óbuda? Well, the name of the city refers to Old Buda and today is normally lumped in with Buda when referring to the 2 sides of the city. One more thing I'll say about Budapest and Europe in general, I was surprised by how walkable these cities were compared to those in the US where I'm from. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised, but easily walking through Budapest made me realize the difference in European cities compared to many in the US, which are highway and car dependent. You'll see streetcars and metro stations everywhere forming an easily accessible network. The Budapest Metro is the 2nd oldest electrified underground railway in the world after only London, with its first line being completed in 1896. Budapest's tram network has been in operation since 1866 and is one of the busiest in the world. Budapest's Tram Line 2 is considered to be one of the most scenic tram lines in the world, running along the east side of the Danube River and in close proximity to many tourist destinations. Now let's get out there and explore. Let's start with Vaci Street. Okay, I'm going to butcher a lot of these names, so feel free to correct me in the comments. Let's start with Vaci Street, sometimes referred to as Vaci Uca. This is the premier shopping district in Budapest, and you will find it on the east side of the Danube. And if you remember, this is where Pest is, so this is the commercial heart of the city. Vaci Street is a famous pedestrian street that's known for its shopping, restaurants, and cafes. It is considered the best shopping street in Budapest, with shops ranging from expensive and exclusive to more affordable and touristy. So this is a great place to go for your souvenirs.
Now shop, friends, shop!
There's also great architecture to explore, everything from modern to Baroque. Here's the interior of an H&M. Notice the stained glass in the background. It's interesting to see these fine details in what would otherwise be a typical chain store. This here is the Hungarian shopping market, and it's a cool little underground market featuring gift shops and souvenirs. At the northern end of Vaci Street is Vörösmarty Square, named for the statue in the middle of the square of famed Hungarian poet Mihaly Vörösmarty. This is the heart of central Budapest and home to several festivals, including Budapest's Christmas market. Oh yeah, and this moon is an exact replica of our moon, and it is temporarily on display at Lumiere Hall, an exhibition hall near Vaci Street that features all kinds of immersive exhibits. Let's head a little further north and visit St. Stephen's Basilica and the area around it. You can tour St. Stephen's Basilica and even walk up to the top of the tower for a view of the city. See the people walking around there at the top? See? Right there. Today, it is the 3rd largest church building in present-day Hungary. It is the largest church in Budapest and a significant historical landmark within the city's UNESCO World Heritage Site buffer zone. Heading west from the Basilica is another pedestrian-only road that leads towards the Danube River. Along this route, you'll find more cafes and shops. In fact, this is where we stopped one night for dinner, but we'll talk about the food in a little bit. Now we'll head out away from the hustle and bustle and go to the west side of the Danube to Buda. Let's visit Castle Hill. The area gets its name from the Buda Castle, which sits high up on a hill. That's kind of self-explanatory. And it's here where you can get one of the best views of the city. One way to get to the top of the hill and take in the scenery is to use the Budapest funicular. The funicular was built in 1870, destroyed during World War II, and then rebuilt in 1986. This is Buda Castle. It was first completed in 1265, but what occupies the site today was built between 1749 and 1769. It was severely damaged during World War II and rebuilt in a simplified Baroque style during the Cold War era. Are you noticing a theme here? A lot of Budapest took a beating during World War II. During the Cold War era that followed, many of the structures were torn down. It has only been in the last few years that these buildings have been rebuilt completely from scratch. For example, this is the Royal Riding Hall, and it was completed as recently as 2019. The seat of the Hungarian government is located here in Castle Hill, so there is a lot of pride wrapped up in restoring and reconstructing these buildings. On the flip side, there has been controversy as others believe the money could be better spent elsewhere than on these monumental buildings that some say are no longer truly historic. Either way, one thing you will notice in this part of town is how much construction has been going on. You'll see construction cranes and scaffolding everywhere. In the center of it all is the Holy Trinity Square with the Matthias Church, a Catholic church towering overhead. It was originally built in 1015 but reconstructed in the second half of the 14th century and was extensively restored in the late 19th century. Also in Castle Hill, you will find gift shops and cafes tucked away throughout the area, along with some of the best views in Budapest. This is the Fisherman's Bastion. It offers a unique panorama of Budapest from its neo-Romanesque lookout terraces. Did you know there are thermal baths in Budapest? They are located in Budapest City Park. The entrance to the park is the Hero Square Monument, which is at the end of Andrassy Avenue, notable for its fine cafes, restaurants, theaters, embassies, and luxury boutiques. Construction on Hero Square began in 1896 to commemorate the 1000th anniversary of the founding of the Hungarian state in 896. Today, Hero Square is used for political events, and on either side sit the Museum of Fine Arts and the Palace of Art. Nearby is the City Park Ice Rink, which opened in 1870. It is one of the largest and oldest ice rinks in Europe. In the summer months when I was there, the area is filled with water to create a pond for boating. Hint, I also found public bathrooms here, but it will cost you €1 to use them. One of the most popular things to do in Budapest is to visit the thermal baths, which are located in the city park. The water is supplied by two thermal springs, one at 74 degrees Celsius, 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and the other at 77 degrees Celsius, 171 degrees Fahrenheit. The bath opened in 1913 and was built in the neo-Baroque style of architecture. The indoor and outdoor pools there have a wide variety of temperatures. The complex also includes saunas and steam. Across the pond is Vaci Castle. This castle, because I'm not going to say that name again, was built in 1896 as part of the Millennial Exhibition that we just talked about that celebrated 1,000 years since the founding of Hungary. The castle features copies of several landmark buildings from different parts of the Kingdom of Hungary, particularly the Hunyad Castle in Transylvania, which is now a part of Romania but was once part of Hungary. Now stay with me here. Tourists are told that the original castle is the place where Vlad the Impaler was held prisoner, and it is considered the inspiration for Castle Dracula in Bram Stoker's 1897 horror novel, Dracula. Today, some locals, at least the tour guides, refer to this as Dracula's Castle. But what is really impressive is the wide variety of architectural styles you will see on the castle, considering how many places it took inspiration from, including Romanesque, Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque. This statue is located on the castle grounds, so just who is this cloaked man? Well, he is known by Anonymous. Sorry I couldn't be more specific, but seriously, this statue represents a notary and chronicler of a Hungarian king. He is known for writing around the year 1200 the history of the Hungarian conquest of the Carpathian Basin. Speaking of things that are really old, did you know there are Roman ruins in Budapest?
What do you say we see some Roman ruins?
Let's go visit the Aquincum Museum, which was founded in 1894 and features the ruins of an ancient Roman town called Aquincum. The town was part of the Roman border protection system as a military base. It is believed that Marcus Aurelius wrote at least part of his book, Meditations, at Aquincum. At the museum is a large outdoor archaeological park with vestiges of the Roman city. You'll see the amphitheater, mosaic floors, sculptures, and more. The indoor museum contains a large collection of prehistoric artifacts. You can even tour a reconstruction of a Roman house on the property. After a long day touring a city, it's easy to want to get back to your hotel room and crawl into bed.
So tired.
But resist the urge. After the sun goes down, Budapest lights up. One way to see the city at night is on the river itself. We took a Danube River cruise which traveled along the river through Central Europe. When we departed Budapest, we had spectacular views of both sides of the river. If you don't have the budget or schedule for that kind of excursion, sightseeing nighttime cruises are also offered. Here is Buda Castle, which we visited earlier up on Castle Hill. Also on Castle Hill, we have the Matthias Church, along with the Fisherman's Bastion just in front of it. This is the Hungarian Parliament building. It was built in 1902 in the Neo-Gothic style and continues to be the largest building in Hungary today. Now, we would be remiss if we did not discuss the food in Budapest. One of the most famous dishes there is langoes, which is a deep-fried bread that features various toppings. Think of it as their version of pizza. Here are some of the dishes we got at a cafe just down the road from St. Stephen's Basilica. But the messiest thing I got was something called a chimney cake. Basically, it is a round cake dusted with cinnamon and filled with other ingredients. So in this case, it was filled with ice cream and other toppings. And I made a huge mess. Imagine walking while trying to eat this thing. I had ice cream all over my face and even in my nose. On second thought, don't imagine me eating this. The funniest part was the people working there chased me down the street and said they overcharged me and were offering to make me a second one to also eat. I was by myself at the time, so I mercifully avoided embarrassment from people I knew, but it's not like I had anyone I could share it with, and I could barely eat the first one without making a scene, so I can't imagine how they expected me to double fist 2 of these. Anyway, this was the first stop on our European tour. There will be more cities to follow, so if you made it this far, please do me a solid and hit the like button and click subscribe. You'll stay up to date with all my adventures, and it will also really help maintain this channel. Also, if you've been to Budapest before, comment below with what your favorite thing to do there is, or let me know if there are any other cities you would like me to cover. And if you want to learn some tips and tricks for traveling in Europe, check out this link here.